remember sleeping on the floor. Yeah, I remember being broke. Yeah, I know if all this money go, I'm gon' look up like where everybody go. Yeah, I remember sleeping on the floor. I lost everything but hope. Yeah, I know
it's a huge day for me, man, just because I don't geek out. I don't geek out with musicians or anyone but GaryVee. I'm such a huge fan. You could tell. I got my book sitting here, man.
And the way you said Vaynerchuk, that's the tell. I'm like, okay, this guy's real. He's in. I appreciate you, Rap.
One thing I find super interesting is you're like the A&R of entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? You're like the dude, like you see all the entrepreneurs out there, you're giving them advice, you know, very similar in the music industry. But now you're actually bringing artists to your office. You're sitting down with T Grizzly and having like 30-minute conversations and putting them on your YouTube. Did you think when you were starting, you know, Wine Library, you know, doing YouTube videos about wine, you'd be sitting down with the biggest superstars in music, like giving them advice?
If you told me that I'd be the coolest I ever was at 42 years old, I would have laughed you out of the room. It's so crazy, and it's fun to have Mike Boyd here in the corner. Mike went to college with my brother AJ, and literally for the last decade, in some shape or form, I've been bankrolling and we've been jamming on hacking, enjoying, managing, creating. First we started I don't even want to say we, I paid, but he started a blog called Hip Hop at Lunch. He was writing articles about Wiz Khalifa and Nicki Minaj and Mac Miller and Nipsey Hussle long before they became who they were. So I'm like, okay, he clearly knows. Then he worked at VaynerMedia. Then I helped him get a job somewhere else. Then he came back, and then it's really interesting. He came back, and it was no thought really. It was more of like, oh, and then we managed Rome Fortune.
Wow.
Then he came back and was like, it was really just like after 2 years of Rome, just like living the management life, trying to break an artist. Big shout out to Rome Fortune. You know, like him just coming back and it's like, you know what, I need another cool off period. Let me just work at VaynerMedia for 2 years and then we'll reset. I don't think either one of us could have saw that I would start penetrating. And it makes sense, right? As entrepreneurship and business have been built up as a zeitgeist, the way an athlete and a rapper, now all of a sudden you're in that conversation, and much just like athletes and rappers commingle, like Joel Embiid wants to high five Meek Mill as much as Meek Mill wants to high five Joel Embiid. Now the entrepreneur's part of that conversation.
100%.
So for me to think that like Killy or like Gunna or you know Tierra Whack or whoever it is, like they think I'm cool, like that's funny to me. And what's real fun for me, back to your A&R part, between Boyd's ability to do in music, between my funny ear where like I kind of know what everybody's gonna like, and then to your point, knowing when I sit down with Pee Wee, like does he have the, or YG, do they have the business chops? And what's funny is you could be a great, like when I sit down with T Grizzly, I know that he's well on his way to being a big time hip hop artist, but when you're walking into my room, that wall, that room, you're coming to talk business.
Yeah.
And so for me, I may like your music, but if you suck at business, I'm gonna let you know. Right? And but more importantly, I'm not gonna let you know by like diss tracking you. I'm gonna try to be like, no, have you thought about this? Have you, Nicky Jam, if you really want, if you're an entrepreneur and you wanna really, let me rephrase, if you're listening right now and you're an artist that is also an entrepreneur or just an entrepreneur, you have to watch that interview, because there I really break down. And if Nicky goes and executes what I told him to do, he'll be in a different place. I think you should be thinking about getting equity in a startup beverage like Dirty Lemon, who's smart enough to know that you're exactly what they need. You get a point of the company on the back end. They market you properly, not on dumb billboards, cheesed out, vanillaed out, right? And you win twice. Or somebody super artistic like Big Crit, right? If you go watch the Crit interview, if he goes and listens to what I'm gonna do, he'll be put on in a more artistic business way. I have a concept that I haven't seen.
Okay.
Song comes out, album comes out, project comes out, something pops. In movies, they come out with number 2 quick. You put out, right, Guardians of the Galaxy, you're like, what the fuck happened? It blows up in the theater, they're fucking in production on number 2 from the bat.
Oh yeah, they know it's just like Fast and Furious. Right after. Yeah.
So for me, again, back to lyrics.
Okay.
You write a song. Yep. It's about what you're going through with your girl, with your best friend, with somebody sick in your family, and it goes. Well, it's been some time in between you writing that and now it happening. to write the update and piggyback off the momentum is something I've never seen. Whereas Nicki may make the kind of money that, you know,
he's making international pop money, like world money.
No, if he really listened to what I said, he's gonna make Dr. Dre Beats money.
Okay.
People are hitting me up.
Nipsey's a real businessman too, man.
Correct. And he's a thoughtful, like, I'll tell you that Nipsey is more of a psychologist and kind of a, you know, a thinker that way. Trading culture.
That's it.
Yep.
If it penetrates, you did it.
100%. That's basically all I think about. Attention arbitrage, hack culture.
Yeah. Other than that, everything else can be manipulated. All that shit can be influenced.
That's right.
If you go outside and you hear the music, you come to the concert, everybody's singing the words.
Then you're good.
It connected. That shit penetrated.
And so I win on psychology. The reason I can go from the boardroom on Madison Avenue to the studio in the hood and like Rallo.
I just don't be thinking about it. They just don't give a fuck. Because if everybody can be rich if they put their mind to it, I ain't no better than the next man. You smell me? I got the same hands, same blood, same eyes as another person. They just don't want it.
If you ever looked at my calendar, where I'm like meeting a 68-year-old billionaire, you know, CEO of like, you know, Budweiser, and then 4 hours later I'm in studio with Rallo, I'm playing so high-low, but the one connective tissue is that I'm trying to bring people value and I have empathy.
And I believe you, man, because, you know, watching your videos and watching, you know, you go out through, you know, your day-to-day life, you don't change. Whether you're in a billion-dollar meeting with a CEO or you're in with Rallo or Young Bands or Killy, it's GaryVee all the time.
And what's interesting is one could be listening right now and be like, yeah, but he can edit it. Like, the only person that really knows that is Iris in the room.
Yeah, holding the camera.
Yeah, she's with me all the time, like D-Rock and Babin, and they're the ones that really know. And you're right, because I don't give a fuck. Look, here's what I would say. You can't be authentic if you pander to anything other than yourself. Like, the reason people break through is whether through their own, like, weirdness or adversity or, you know, that's why I love. Why did T Grizzly break through? Because he's fucking jail for 4 years.
So, I get locked up. Off the rip, my first time going to prison, I was in a whole different state, very far away from my home in Kentucky.
And like, he got sent to a bunch of different jails and he started picking up on flavor outside of Detroit.
You know, you get to talking to people, you get to mingling, and you get some, what you was out there doing? I was out there, I'm like, yeah, I was out there rapping too, trying to rap. Oh yeah, let me hear something then. So I would rap for them. I would rap something to them that everybody in the city loved. And they was like, nah, bro, that ain't it. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, maybe that's what's missing. Like, damn, that's why I don't connect with everybody, because this is some super Detroit shit.
And when he spit it in the yard, they're like, that's whack. It's because he used a terminology for a car that other people didn't use, because that's how they said it in Detroit. And so what happened was he got empathy. I
got locked up in so many different states. In this one time, like, I had.
Oh, they kept moving you?
Yeah, they kept on moving me. So
you built your fan base and got you literally crafted it and got context that makes so much fucking sense. Look. So by the time he came out, he understood a lot of different people. Now he can make a hit, right? But the kid in Detroit right now who's gonna copy T Grizzly lost because it's not authentic already. And that speaks to patience. Yeah. Right? Like, he had to give up 4 years of his life, have the stigma of being locked up, all the things come along with it, slowed everything down, but it opened up another opportunity. Do you have a good time at Rolling Loud?
I had a great time, man.
What was, give me what struck you?
I want to say Rich the Kid. Just seeing the response to someone like Rich, and you know, I've been a fan for a few years, and I've kind of followed him throughout, you know, his whole career, and so just to see the payoff, the reward, you know.
And he hacked, boy. There's one of the first meetings we had was with Rich. And, you know, that's like 2.5 years ago now. But like now, hip hop kids are gonna be 100 millionaires because they're getting out, they're trying to, like, to play at the highest levels, just like athletes. You go back to the 60s and 70s, athletes they had jobs in the off season.
Right.
Like like the biggest quarterbacks in the 50s, 60s, 70s, they hoped to coach when they were done. Now these quarterbacks, they wanna own the team. You know, hip hop kids coming up 20 years ago, they're like, oh, maybe I'll get like a good deal. Now they want to own the label. They want to own a fashion brand, sneaker deals, startup companies, like everybody's in for whatever, and that's huge, that's game changing. So for me, the big thing now is what I want to be, it's so fun to say it right here, right now, here. If I can be the Jimmy Iovine to all of them, if they're all Dre, that's why I'm meeting all of them. And you know, I don't know how wired in or what you've heard or not heard. I'm not asking for shit.
Yeah.
I don't want anything. If I can be the Jimmy to all this collective, if you're 15 to 30 and you're about to hit or you're kind of coming up, if I can just keep spitting value into the system, that's gonna work out. And whether you're far along, like Nipsey and YG, where I can talk about that next step, or when Bands came into my office, he's still got something around his fucking ankle. You clearly have your shit together. The only thing that's gonna fuck you up is because you know it's gonna happen, you can feel it. And sometimes youngsters are just like, fuck, why hasn't it happened? Like 13 months from now? Like happen like that song that completely changed shit. And then they start doing shortcuts. I'm telling you, Gunna's.
So I'm heading to me like, no,
No, New York's very simple. Hey, free CD. Where's my 20 bucks? Like, listen, I know we're talking a lot about music, which is probably the most I've talked about music.
Dude, but I'm saying, like, this is why I wanted you on the show, because you know what the fuck you're talking about.
But I know about it in some interesting ways. So, for example, as somebody who never, I don't have the audacity, I don't want to disrespect the audience. Someone who I don't feel understands music the way I think we understand music. Most of you, when I say we, a lot of you people that know music, I understand music in like a pure human sense, meaning the lyrics, the hook, the beat. I very much understand that little sandwich.
Okay.
I understand it real well. So for example, I know that I am a lyrics guy. Like the reason hip hop got me is because I didn't come from shit. Because I've always been underestimated. People spit in my fucking face. I love competition. Like, I hate that I'm not a rapper because all the shit that I really want to say, I can't the way a rapper can. To me, it's the story. This is why I fucking fuck with Biggie so much. So, the truth always wins, man. The truth wins. This is what I say to artists all the time. They're like, oh, fucking, I need to get put on. I'm like, If your music's good enough, especially in 2018, like, put that shit on SoundCloud and Spotify and show me. Fuck you. Nobody's stopping you. You don't need Zayn to put you on rotation. You don't need Rap Caviar to put you on. You don't. If you're good enough, you'll eventually get there. You might not be pumping the way you think right now. Just a matter of time.
Gary Vaynerchuk, I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bro.
You are a man who knows it all, and definitely knows music, dude.
Thank you, man. Yeah, that was a pretty good. I'm impressed with my music. I think I'm impressed myself.
Yeah, I remember being broke. Yeah, I know if all this money go, I'm gonna look up like where everybody go.